Hello everybody, thank you very much for joining me today for another Twilight Zone video in my Twilight Zone ranking series, where I rank every episode of the original Twilight Zone from my least favorite to my favorite. Today I'm going to be talking about number 56, Probe 7 Over and Out, written by Rod Serling and directed by Ted Post. This is a season 5 episode, and as always there will be spoilers. So I've always thought Probe 7 Over and Out was a fine episode. It was just kind of there. And I think that's because it's a story that's been told many, many times in many different ways. And it wasn't really even a new concept in the 60s. But I have to say, I really enjoyed this episode on the rewatch. The acting was strong, and the way the story was told, I thought was really well done. This episode, I definitely had more appreciation for it this time around. So Richard Basehart as Adam Cook and Antoinette Bauer as Norda do a great job. The acting is high quality, which is normal for a good Twilight Zone episode. So this one starts with our main character, an astronaut, Adam Cook, and he winds up on a strange planet after he crash lands. He also broke his arm and has limited resources, so things aren't really looking that great. He is able to get in contact with someone still on his home planet, and they tell him they are at war and might be wiped out soon. So basically Cook is on his own and can't really expect a rescue anytime soon. I actually thought these conversations with the man from his home planet were very effective. I liked the way that they were done in the episode. And there's a nice atmosphere to these scenes as well. So at this point, Cook goes out exploring because why not? What else does he have to do, basically? And he finds some drawings. But before he can examine them too much, he gets hit with like a boulder or rock and is knocked out. This means he also sadly misses the last message from his home planet, and it seems like they are pretty much goners at this point. So Cook eventually wakes up and hears something. Eventually, a woman appears. They don't talk the same language at all, so communication is difficult at first. But eventually, they like draw messages in the sand and use hand gestures. It was all very, very interesting, in my opinion. So it turns out the woman says her name is Norda, and she is also alone, stranded on this planet, it would seem like. So it things like things are going to be okay until Norda panics and runs off after thinking Cook was threatening her, even though it was all a big misunderstanding. So there's still communication issues, and I'm glad this scene was put in the episode because I thought this was very realistic. So eventually Norda returns, and Cook seems pretty pleased about this. He says his name is Adam Cook, and we find out that her full name is Eve Norda, and they are in a type of garden. So this is basically the Twilight Zone version of the Adam and Eve story, which I thought was really well done. Is it the most original story or episode of the Twilight Zone? No, but I really thought the way Serling wrote it was clever and interesting, and I thought the acting and cinematography was really great. Also, I thought the Norda character could have used maybe a little more screen time, but overall, I really found a lot to like about Probe 7 Over and Out, and this is definitely an episode that improved quite a bit for me on the rewatch, and that's why it's number 56 on the list. As always, feel free to let me know if you liked this episode or not. Thanks for your support, and thanks very much for watching.